You know what? We don't do anything for free except if they bring in a friend, we let them try it out for free.
Gotcha.
The only thing is they have to have their parents with them
Right.
in order to have decision makers there. You always want decision makers
Right.
there.
Yeah. On our NAPMA call a couple days ago on Wednesday, we spent about an hour on the introductory process. And here's a short answer, so we don't get bogged down for an hour. Is we usually do 2 free lessons right now, but the offer can range anywhere from it's a month. We're doing a Haiti fundraiser right now, and the offer is it's 5 weeks for $49, and it includes a uniform. Okay, but it doesn't matter what the offer is. We always enroll them by the second lesson. Okay, and I've seen schools do fine. One intro, enroll them on the first visit. I've always felt more comfortable with intro 1, intro 2, enroll them after the second visit.
You mean classes, 1, 2 classes?
Yeah, but introductory classes, not like
right.
just throw them into the mix. Now you can have an orientation class where everybody is there within the first month or two and integrate them with that on the first or second lesson. That can work fine if you're careful about it. But my logic between doing the 1 intro and enroll and the 2 intro and enroll has to do, I think, with price point and how much of a commitment you want. Because for us, we want a minimum of a 12-month commitment, and we're now looking at $249 a month price point. And now, and different for an adult for a child. Okay, adult coming by themselves, I'd be fine with enrolling on the first lesson. Parents for a child, I think it usually takes 2 lessons to get both parents there, to get them engaged, to get them prepped, to be willing to make a commitment for their 7-year-old or their 5-year-old or whatever. So I tend to like, you're bringing them in for an intro, prepping them after the first intro for go through all this stuff between now and next time. We have an introductory packet. It's got a DVD and an audio CD, 32-page booklet, and a whole thing that preps them for the whole thing. And then we want to make sure that all the decision makers are there for the second lesson, so that after the second lesson we can sit down and go through the enrollment process and finalize their enrollment. Does that make sense? Okay. But see, what I see a lot of schools try to do is they do, a 4-week intro or a 5-week intro or 2 weeks. Well, if I let somebody come in and train for 8 lessons over a month, and especially I'm not scheduling them by appointment and holding their hand each time, the rule is you want to enroll them when they're ready. And just because I'm ready at a certain point doesn't mean I stay ready. See, what happens, they die on the vine, right? I go, I'm ready, and then I start getting bored. Or I'm ready, and then I start thinking of doing something else. Same thing is true of doing a second level of renewal. It's kind of like month 1, month 2, I'm peaked, and now I start going this way, right? So I want to get them when they're ready. Okay, let's go to the next thing here. What gets measured gets done. This is really, really important. Is you don't know what's going on wrong with your school if you don't have good stats to back it up. Okay, and on the sales process, I want to know at the very least how many leads we're generating, how many incoming calls or walk-ins we're getting, how many of them we're making an appointment for, how many of the ones we're making an appointment for are showing up for an intro, how many of those that are showing up for an intro are showing up for the second intro, how many of those are showing up for the second intro enroll, how many of those upgrade, right? Then I want to know how many are testing. If you're doing like we're doing a modular curriculum, so the test is every other month. I want to know that essentially 100% of the school is testing every other month, what the numbers look like. I want to know what the retention rate is. So, we keep track of how many people came in this week, but how many have been gone for a week, how many have been gone for 2 weeks, how many have been gone for 3 weeks, what our total month is, what our dropout rate was the previous month, so we know as a percentage of our active what our quit rate is. Okay, and we can keep going. NAPNA has on the member website, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual forms to keep track of all this stuff, right? But if you're not measuring that stuff, and see, as an owner-operator, sometimes we don't measure it because we feel like we know what our results are like. Well, no, we remember the good stuff, and we ignore the bad stuff, and we, we're always greater in our memory than we were in reality, right? So that's the reason why you want these little flip cameras and record on your enrollment conferences. Get a little flip camera and enroll all your. They're $200, right? Record your intros, but keep track of the numbers. So if you don't have benchmarks, you don't know whether you're doing well or poorly. If you don't know what the numbers are, you don't know whether you're doing well or poorly, right? rule of thumb worst case is if you're getting 50 people to inquire about lessons per month, you should be getting at least half of them. And I'd rather see it be, 70 or 80%. Now, I could get complicated because there's, leads that come from TV tend to be a lot flakier than like leads that come from direct mail. Leads that come from going out in the community and doing some promotional activities tend to be a little bit flakier than people who have put your Valpak coupon on the refrigerator for 4 months in a row and finally got around to calling you. So there's differentiation across that, but you've got to be watching the numbers and benchmarking across what other schools, which is what we're doing with NAPNA and with Mile High Karate as well, is benchmarking across other schools to know whether you're doing well or poorly on that, right? Our school in Fresno, Les and Sasha have been working closely together, and Sasha has been doing a fabulous job of marketing, horrible job of selling, and his focus is like he had a little TV show that he did last night and all kinds of other stuff, but if in his case he's getting 70 to 100 intros a month the last few months, but they're not converting them the way they should, right? So, rather than us spending any time at all trying to get more marketing stuff going, the answer is why aren't we enrolling 60 of these people? So let's go to work, right?
Practice your sales.
Oh yeah. Well, what they're doing is every enrollment conference and every intro they're recording, and I've got 3 or 4 of them in my email. You've seen a couple of them, and we're going through and critiquing them, and we're checking their vocabulary because there's always a reason that you can come up with somebody to enroll, and you never come up with the reason that you just sucked as an instructor, or as a salesperson. And if you ever come up with a reason other than that, right? And that's unfair. There are conditions, there are objections, there are conditions you can't come up with, but you're much better off to assume you can control 100% and occasionally be wrong than to have the reason why a whole list of different people didn't enroll and not blame yourself, right? So anyway, let's go to this number 5. Here's it's upgrade your staff. And by the way, there's never been a better time to hire good quality people right now, right? And you can hire them internally, you can hire them externally. It's always nicer, it's always better if you've developed, and Les, we've had this conversation a lot recently, always better if you've known somebody for 12 years and they've grown up in your school and they know all your systems and traditions and all that stuff, if there's somebody that if you never met, you'd like them and you'd be enthusiastic about them and you'd hire them, right? Not because you just raised them and you feel sorry for them and they can't get another job somewhere else.
Stop it, Don.
Yeah.
He doesn't know my MO.
We had a long conversation.
The very first time he met me, he came in and critiqued the school and said, Greg's got to go.
Yeah.
First night, first visit.
He was wrong.
Excuse me, Master Oliver, can we take a break for just a sec?
Absolutely. Yeah, let's take a quick restroom break.